Hello dear soul, and welcome to the fourth and final Rising Phoenix story. These are personal stories from my life where I share my experience of transcending my limited beliefs around a certain thing or experience and really rising into higher levels of consciousness to release myself from the limiting beliefs and really see that we can heal from anything when we allow ourselves to really expand our consciousness into understanding that we are more than the experience that happened to us. And see how it really happened for us, see how it helped us to really raise awareness about who we are and why we are here in this earth. So, the fourth story is about my nephew who was diagnosed with cancer 1 year after my awakening. So he was 6 years old at that, or 5 years, almost 6 years old at that time. And the reason why I want to share this story is because it's a very powerful story, first of all. And also I want to share how I had already raised my consciousness, my awareness at that time, and how it became a very different experience than if I had gone through it not being awakened at that state. And how we can really allow ourselves to raise our vibration and our consciousness, and then from there experience the things in a very different way. So what happened was that when he was 5 years old, the doctors found a brain tumor, and actually they found more than one. So my experience with the cancer at that time was that you probably won't survive it if you have a brain tumor. That was the experience I had from a friend who had a child who passed a year earlier. But really coming into this experience from an awakened state, I felt that even though I had a lot of fear in the first days and was afraid of losing him, of course, I could come back into a centered and grounded place and really be a powerful support for my sister, first of all, and for her family. And I could help her to go into the higher dimensions with her, because that's where she felt safe at that moment, connecting with angels, connecting with a higher perspective. And I could be there and allow ourselves to have the experience from there. So one of the first thing I did after finding out, first of all, I came back. I was in Holland at that time for an exchange on my PhD. And I was still on my PhD even though I was awakened at that state, and my shift has been gradual. So from there I went back to Denmark to support her and to support him and the rest of the children. And one of the first things I did was really to travel into the future and see him there, connect with him in that space, and really feel that he was going to become an adult. He was going to outlive me, that I would be the one leaving the planet first. And I was really confident that my visions were real, that they were what was actually going to happen. I was also channel drawing. That was actually one of the first things I did after my awakening, seeing how I could just let my hand draw whatever it wanted to draw, and there came some pictures through. I did not always understand them, but that's another story. And now I do, and now I see what it was that I painted. But with him, I was drawing him like his phases of his life, and seeing that he was really going to grow up and become a really magnificent man with some really great achievements related to overcoming these obstacles that he was experiencing at that time. He would be going through surgery, and he was also going to radiation treatment in the brain. And when he was going through that experience of receiving radiation, is that what you really call it? I'm not sure. So he was being sent to Houston in the US Denmark do that. That's actually quite impressive. They send all the children who had this specific kind of tumor to the US to get the radiation treatment there, because they have the best hospitals for that. And I went with them for the first month or so to support them there and look after the smaller children, while his parents was with him at the hospital, going there every day for the treatment. So while I was there, we had some very extraordinary moments, me and my nephew, because I was able to go with him into the higher dimension, and for him the veil was very thin at that moment. He was saying things that was really related to the higher experience. He was very attuned with this guidance and messages. And I can also say that was a healer. I had not open to my own awareness about my healing abilities at that time. So I was there supporting him with my energy, and I knew that I was supporting him a lot because we could really see that. My sister always said that he could be in his hospital bed, being just lying there, maybe a bit grumpy, maybe not having a very good mood, and a few minutes after I stepped into the room, he would sit up in his bed and he would laugh and make a lot of jokes. He's a very, very humorous guy. So that was really how I felt I was supporting him, just by being there present with my energy. And we had some extraordinary moments while we were in Houston. He would share with me his feelings around his own death, or his fear maybe, his thoughts, his beliefs. And what I was about to say before is that there was a healer working with him, an emotional code healer, working with him from Denmark at the same time that we were there, and she could feel and see a lot of the beliefs that he had around trauma and not surviving his early childhood years maybe. And while we were there, we had, and it's important to say, it's beliefs, so they are not going to come true, but they're shaping his experience of what is going on. And I want to clarify that so they can be released, and they were, and that's what I'm about to share with you. We had a really extraordinary moment one afternoon where he came into my room, and we were laying on the bed, and I was holding his hand, and he shared with me. So he said, I know I'm going to die when I'm 3 years old. And I was like, And because I was in that state of being, because I was awakened, I did not get afraid when he shared that with me. I was just listening and knowing about the healer. I was just listening, and then I said, yes, is that what you think of sometimes? And he said, yeah, I'm thinking about that. And I said, but you're here now in this moment. You're 6 years old, he was at that time, and I'm here with you. I'm your aunt. You're alive. You're alive in this moment. And he just nodded, and we talked a bit more about it, and then he fell asleep holding my hand. And at the same time, so this was divine orchestration and quite extraordinary, at the same time, the healer had been working with him in Denmark. And what she could say was that in that moment, in that day, within these 24 hours, he had released all his beliefs around dying. He just had letting them go, and he was ready. I believe it was actually the day before he started the radiation treatment. So he could just release all these beliefs, and this very lived, his experience of being alive in this moment helped him and was really powerful in the energy. I could feel that, even though I was not knowing awarely I was healing or helping him heal and receiving his own energy, which it really is to heal, helping him to just receive and ground his energy. Then that was what was occurring. I felt the energy so strong when we were laying there in the bed, and he woke up a bit later, and then these things had happened. Like, he had let go of these beliefs, and that was really extraordinary to witness him and to be with him on that journey, because it's such a powerful journey when someone chooses, and that's how I experienced from a soul level, not from a human level often. And we can get a bit frustrated when we are in these experiences because we think that something wrong is happening to us, something terrible. But understanding how we grow from these experiences, as I could have said a little more than a year earlier, I did not know I was going to recover from that concussion and whiplash and post-traumatic stress, and I was very much in despair and thinking that was what the rest of my life was going to be like, suffering from that, and that I could not overcome this experience. And I had overcome it. I had actually grown so much that I was in a completely new reality where I could be the support for someone else in such a powerful way, because that's how I felt it. And I can say that the love with my sister and her kids only grew stronger through that experience. And the feeling of being able to support her unconditionally, and him and the two girls, now there's a little boy more, but to be there for them unconditional, and really being able to trust myself in this, that I can be there, it's true, I can really be there and love them. and support them. So that was my sharing for today. I also kept it to 10 minutes today because I know that you like them a bit shorter, so it's not taking up all of your day. Feel free to comment, share, like if you like this video, if you gained something from it. I'm wishing you all a beautiful day. Bye for now.